All right, so this is the part of all of the data sets about animal nutrition that is going to be graded. So you can definitely use everything else, but this will be for a grade. So, what you are going to be doing is reading this background information and filling out a diet for these two lions. However, you cannot just copy the diet that you made before because if you read the background information, it says zoo researchers have found that lions generally need to consume 3% of their weight daily. So, what you need to do is look at the weight of these lions in pounds, convert that to kilograms, and then figure out what 3% of that is. Um, so, for example, my dog weighs 170 pounds. I know he's a big old boy. So I would figure out what that is in kilograms. So just for an example off the top of my head, that might be like 80 kilograms and 3% of that. So be 80 times 3%. That's how many kilograms of food he would need to eat in a day. So then you are going to use that information to come up with a diet for your lion, trying to keep the percentages of what they need for everything in line. So obviously you're not going to feed a lion carbohydrates or anything like that. So you are going to make a diet for both of these lions. Next, you are going to answer this question. Explain how the daily energy needs are different between a zebra and its predator, the lion. So, what are the differences in digestibility between what a zebra eats and what a lion eats? Is grass more digestible? Is meat more digestible? How do you know that? Cite the cecum and different things like that. So, differences in digestive tracts. Energy spent on digesting. Which one takes more energy to break down? Is it going to be meat and fat, or is it going to be like veggie stuff? Which one takes more energy? So, and then any behaviors. So, if we think about like an herbivore, do they spend all day eating? Or does a carnivore spend all day hunting and eating? So think about what we learned before about how lions hunt in groups and they can only hunt for like one thing a day versus what you guys know from living in Wisconsin about cows. Like whenever you see a cow in the field, what's it doing? Okay. So think about those different things as far as how much food that these animals need to eat and whatnot, and explain that down here. The second part, I did some of this for you. So in this part, we have an Asian wild horse, and it lives in a zoo, and they're putting together a diet based off of another animal that we just talked about. So an Asian wild horse would be most similar to which African animal? Okay. So here we have different food that they're feeding it. So you need to look up on that food list that you have the percent and the mass of everything. So we're adding everything up. And down here for your evidence, you are going to be looking at, so how do you think the dension compares between an African or an Asian wild horse, I'm sorry, and the African counterpart? How do you think their diet compares? Okay. How do you think their energy need compares? Are they going to be the same? Are they going to be different? What do you think? On here, it says resist making any comparisons. So, what that means is they're not maybe necessarily going to be the same. So maybe try to look up the size differences. So how do you think those energy needs are going to compare? And then down below, you're going to write your reasoning. So the claim is the Asian wild horse is most similar to maybe a unicorn. Okay. And then you are going to explain everything here in full sentences for your reasoning. So remember that evidence is just like notes. These do not need to be in complete sentences. The reasoning is where you are going to write out all of your evidence in complete sentences.